Alrighty then, today we are back on the Warzone solos grind. I haven't done a huge amount of solos in Season 3 so far, and that's just because I've been enjoying playing with my friends in Resurgence. It's a really good experience when you're just playing with a couple of guys and there's gunfights going off everywhere and it's just all the chaos in the world. It's great fun. Solos is a very, very different experience, and in Season 3 I found it a little bit more difficult to enjoy that experience. And I think that's just partly because I've been having so much fun in Resurgence, and it is a very, very different mode, that when I come to play solos, at the moment, the pacing of it and the fact that it's so much slower, I think I get a little bit impatient, and I'm not enjoying it as much. But that said, I do want to get back into it because, obviously, Resurgence isn't going to be around every single week, and, you know, Warzone does offer some other different kinds of game modes. So that's what we're doing today. That's why I'm jumping back into solos, and we'll be using the new Reactive AK47 skin, which looks really, really cool, I'm not going to lie. I thought that the Reactive AUG was a really good looking skin and the way that changed colour, but the Reactive AK47, it's like an anime one, but behind it, it changes colour, and it goes from like red to green to blue, gold, purple. It looks really, really cool, not going to lie. And anytime a reactive skin comes up in the store, I can't help myself. I just absolutely have to buy it. This is my first kill coming up here, actually. Guy nearly got me. He nearly got me with that thermite, not gonna lie. He popped that in the perfect position, knowing I'd repeat that corner. But I don't think he anticipated me switching from a Farah, which admittedly is a very, very good ground loot gun. Still, even after its nerf, a very good ground loot gun. Switching over to the PPSH, which at close range now is really, really strong. It's got less of a bolt delay than it used to have by like 80%. And the bolt delay is like when you hit the trigger button and there's like a delay between you hitting the button and the gun starting firing. That's quite prevalent on the light machine guns, and for some reason it was prevalent on the PPSH, but Raven's changed it, so it's now 80% less than what it was before. So as soon as you hit the trigger button, that thing just starts firing, and it makes it much more competitive. There is one thing that I do really appreciate about playing solos. I played like 5 or 6 games yesterday, and it's being able to get your loadout at the start of a game without having to worry too much that people are just going to come over and ruin your rounds. If you play Resurgence or even like normal trios and quads, if you don't get your loadout within like the first minute after you've touched the ground, you're going to get pushed by a team and you're going to get taken out. This is the Reactive AK, by the way. I don't know if people know about this little route here. How cool is this? I don't know why it would support the weight of a human being, but that now allows you to get all the way across these roofs in downtown. And there are new ladders that allow you to get up onto the roofs that you previously couldn't get to, but that little jump there across the street, you can't make that by jumping from roof to roof. So just a little tip, you can actually use that kind of like banner and you can get your way across. But yeah, I'm appreciating the fact that in solos, you know, I can take a little bit of time at the beginning of a match to actually get my loadout. And I'm doing the classic Westie here. Look, you can see I've got a plate in my inventory and I'm not fully plated up. I don't know what it is. Just sometimes I just forget to look. I'm so focused on the content and I'm so focused on like trying to get kills or something like that that I just forget to plate up. I don't know if I actually do go and plate up here, but spotted this guy coming into the Parliament building. And this is probably one of my least favorite areas of the new map, by the way. There's so much less cover than there used to be. Might be able to hear him walking around in here. He's just on the other side of the door. He's moving around a little bit in there. By the way, the reticle on this AK, I don't know where I got it. It was from another blueprint, but the reticle is absolutely incredible. I really, really like it. Nice and clean. Tried to go for the AK snipe. The AK snipe. The Car 98. Nearly got caught out by that guy on the wall there that he'd sprayed up. I think he was waiting for me to come through. I did have a dead silence earlier in the game that has disappeared. That's because I bought the loadout and I forgot to pick up the dead silence. Not gonna lie, got quite lucky with that kill there. But you can see the reactive now. I'm gonna go back inside where it's a bit darker once I plate it up here, and you'll see the reactive on the gun. It looks really cool. It looks so cool. Look at that. The color's just like pulsing through that anime skin. Looks really, really nice. But Admittedly, there in close quarters, this is where the AK does absolutely dominate. It's got a super low time to kill. It's like only 500 milliseconds if you're landing chest shots on a fully plated player. So it's like a really short time to kill, but you are still going to get maybe outmaneuvered by somebody who's using an SMG. The movement speed of the AK has now been toned down a little bit. All of the Cold War guns feel a little bit slower in terms of movement speed after that balance patch last week. And as much as people are like, oh no, the Cold War guns aren't as good as what they used to be, I'd still argue that that nerf was a good move, just to bring the movement speed down a little bit and not make them so much faster than the Modern Warfare guns. Done a cheeky little recon here. This is just so I can get a peek at the next circle. I did hear a couple of snipes going off the roof above me. So there's probably somebody up there. Just heartbeating to see the edge, and you can see that like he's only 40 meters away, so he's probably like on the edge of the building closest to me. And obviously with height in solos, if you get taken out, and it's not good. You need the height. It's one of the most powerful plays that you can get in Warzone solos. So I'm going to go and take this roof over here on the left. So I'm just checking to make sure he's not looking at me. I don't want to get sniped in the head whilst I try and go for this zip. I'm pretty much figuring he's in that staircase or around the top of that staircase up there. And I just really don't want to get killed at this point because I'm just starting to get into the round. 3 kills, 50 players left, circle 2. That's pretty normal for Warzone solos these days. But got myself a little bit of a power position now. You can see the traces going off. Boom. Head popped. Absolutely destroyed. Now, he was shooting at somebody. Don't know if it was him. But there's other snipes coming in. I got a nice break on that guy down below. That's where the Kar 98 is really, really nice for solos, because you can get that. You can ADS super quick. You've got a nice movement speed. And there's like a bolt chamber time. I think it's the fastest of any of the snipers in the game. So one of the reasons why I've really started using it. Plus the fact that it actually is a really solid gun. I think that guy's jumped off the back of the roof. You saw his parachute just over the back there, but again, this is not a bad position to be in, but we've got the circle to move towards, and I haven't got my ghost loadout, so moving over to go and get that. And once we've got that, we've obviously got to find our way into the circle again, which, considering how close we are to the gas, that's not going to be too easy. Picked up some extra cash whilst I was moving through downtown. Of course, you want to get a UAV going so you can see what kind of players you've got left over here. Circle is collapsing in, and I'm right on the edge of it. Got 2.5 minutes, so, you know, plenty of time. But I gotta say here, I don't think I play this particularly well. This whole sequence up until a certain point, I play really poorly. Because I've got a UAV here, and somebody was shooting from that white building. I couldn't actually see him in any of the windows. You might have been able to, but I couldn't see him at the time. It would probably have been better for me to move away from downtown and try and get myself across deeper into the circle, because I would have been away from some of that action a little bit. But I decided to try and take this roof, because obviously I still want to get height over anybody who might be left in downtown, but as you saw from the UAV, that guy just gets absolutely blasted by somebody else, but as you saw from the UAV, there aren't actually too many people left in downtown who haven't got ghosts. There might be a couple more, but there aren't too many people. And so what I really should have done is got myself across this drain area a lot quicker, because I would have saved myself some pain, which you're going to see in a second. And I'm just checking around here. Obviously, whenever you're on a roof, you've got to have your head on a swivel, because anybody could be looking at you from any different location. And then what I've done is I've then popped my second UAV, which, again, in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have done. I probably should have just moved on from this point. I've already popped a UAV having been in downtown. You know, they cost a lot of money. And I've now used 2 of them to get the exact same information that I already had, just a minute apart. And I think I was just here hoping to maybe get a cheeky snipe on somebody as they come out of downtown. And I'm taking this very edge building so I can remain here and be that guy who maybe shoots somebody as they go across the drain. But it's my own fault that I've stayed here for so long, because I've now just made myself a target. And that's one thing in Warzone solos. I should be trying to stay more mobile, because eventually you just end up, you know, spotting somebody and then getting sniped in the back of the head by somebody else. Which, you know, is not great. And then this is even more of my own fault, because I do play up here. You know, you got to give me props. Westie doesn't play up very often, but he played it up here. It's this next move. I thought that the guy, it's got to come from this angle. Look, there he is, top of the roof. The smoke gives him away. If fire one shot at him, and I make the most obvious peek in the world. Why did I do that? Good for him, gets the headshot, whatever, but like that was the stupidest peek in the world. Why did I do that? I know a lot of people aren't too keen on this new Gulag. I don't mind it. I actually quite like it. I like the variation in height coming into play a little bit more. Of course, it makes it easier when the person just stays on the ground, but I like that there's that like higher position where if you want to take the risk and go up there, then you can definitely do it. But arguably, again, dying at that point in the game was just bad from me. Like, I've now got to go all the way to the edge of the gas to go and get my gear back because, as you can see, we're still in Circle 3. The next free loadout doesn't drop until the beginning of Circle 5, so I have to go and get my gear, otherwise I'm without any kind of powerful weapon. And we've got quite lucky, if I'm honest, because we still had enough time to go and get it. I've still got time to sort of parachute away and get myself away from that action over in downtown. But I do obviously attract the attention of somebody over at hospital. And I'm lucky to be alive. Really, really lucky to be alive. So right now, we're not in the best situation, you'd have to agree. I've managed to work my way around hospital unscathed. Somebody clearly didn't survive the battle, and their loadout is here. This is actually one of my favourite locations in the Warzone map, because you can see so much of what is going on around you. But it's also one of the least well-protected locations. So I like fighting here, but often I die fighting here. But today, we don't die, and we pick up somebody that I'd spotted from the hospital roof. I think this is the guy that was shooting at me about a minute ago. Get the break on him. Takes me too long to switch out to the AK, and the reason it takes so long is because I don't have amped, because I haven't picked up my loadout. I've got my loadout guns, but I don't have any of the perks, because you have to get your loadout in order to get your perks, and I lost those from going into the Gulag. I mean, I don't actually know what gun he had, but he took me down to some seriously low health. Let's see what he had here. Did I look at it? Did I even look at it? I think it might have been a ram. Was it a ram or something like that? I couldn't even tell. But he took me down with some serious damage. He landed some decent headshots on me. And my AK recoil control there was terrible. I probably should have died. But I got lucky because of the damage output of the AK. Landed a couple of good shots at the end. And managed to kill him. But I had the high ground as well. I should easily have won that gunfight. But, you know, I made a meal of it. But whatever. 6 kills, 19 players left. Not too bad for solos. Circle 4. You know, we've got the train station roof in play here, as we always say. Height gives you that added bit of security in solos. It's not a huge amount of height, and obviously there's a lot of space up here, so there could be players, but, you know, we're not doing too bad. We've made plenty of mistakes, but, you know, that's classic Westie gameplay. You don't watch these videos for the pure meta madness. You watch him because he forgets to play up all the time, right? Now, my loadout drop has come in over on the left-hand side, and as you remember, I haven't got my loadout at the moment. I've got my guns, but don't actually have my full loadout. That's one area where I wish the Kar 98 just did a little bit more damage. I'd already bodied him once. I body him a second time, and he doesn't go down. Kind of frustrating when you've got a sniper. But this one. Boom. Headshot. 2 shots, and he's dead. Great news. Absolutely great news. The guy on top of fire station, disappointed I didn't get the kill on that guy. But he was moving away from me, so to get the headshot, that would have been difficult. He's, you know, body's bobbing and weaving. It wasn't going to be easy. Landing the body was probably a good shout, because if he's got no plates left, that just softens him up for somebody else. Maybe they kill him off, and that makes my round a little bit easier, but a little bit disappointing we didn't get the 2 snipes in a row there. We're just continuing to tactically hold this roof. I'm not calling it camping. I'm calling it tactically holding. If I was camping, I would sit still in the corner. But somebody's noticed me up here. I think they're on the tech building, which is down over there. Get quite lucky that I don't get hit by this airstrike, because there wasn't too many positions for me to go or to escape from that roof. If I'd had to have jumped off that roof, he would have beamed me out of the sky. But I genuinely can't see this guy. I wasn't able to peek him enough to be able to see what position he was holding. And I thought I'd try and get a side peek, but no, somebody from Fire Station wants a piece of Westie as well. So we're now down on plates. We do have the plate box, and we've got 3 spares, but took a few hits there. Not ideal, considering the situation we are in. I've got my loadout guns, but I don't have my loadout, which means I don't have Ghost at this point. So anybody pops a UAV or I don't know, if I picked up an unsuppressed ground loot gun and started firing it, I'd appear on the minimap. Well, I'd appear on the minimap anyway, but yeah. It's not a great position to be if you don't have Ghost in these final circles. But we've got to make a move, as we are edge of zone, and we have to get past this tech building, so got to try and do it the best way we can. Guy's clearly ghosted. Most people are at this point of the game anyway. But this AK just looks so cool. I love the colours that it has. I just love it. Might be able to hear here. I'll be really quiet for a minute. You can start to hear the footsteps in a second. Here we go. Now, because I heard those footsteps, I thought, okay, someone's going to start shooting at me, and I need to loot quickly. They did start shooting at me. And unfortunately, the Semtex gets me. But this guy, you know, he had an AMAX. That's like, you know, AK versus AMAX. It would have been 50-50 of who won that gunfight, but I'd taken some damage, which wasn't great. But this guy's running the Modern Warfare MP5 and the AMAX. Pretty strong loadout, not going to lie. Modern Warfare MP5 is coming back into the meta now that they've changed some of the SMG properties and nerfed the FFAR and obviously even nerfed the Farah as well. Farah was actually taking over the place of SMGs, but this guy, again, you know, he's playing classic solos. He knows how to win. You just hold positions. That's all you do. Like, you just wait for other people to make mistakes. And that's where I just got impatient in this game. I just wasn't waiting for other people to make mistakes. Arguably, I don't really think that's a very fun play style. I want to have a little bit of action, but also know that I've got the power position or something like that. I'm not going to go gung-ho on everybody. I'm not in it for, you know, trying to get the highest kill games or whatever. I want to get the win. But I also don't want to just sit there the entire game doing absolutely nothing. This guy's kind of similar to me, actually. You know, he's got the 8 kills or whatever, so he's got a little bit. Only 3 players left in the entire game. I'm not sure why he went for that shot with the MP5. He would have been better switching to the AMAX. He might have actually downed the guy if he'd have done that. Cheeky little dead silence. I don't know why the gas mask went on there. And again, he might get ruined by it. He's definitely heard some footsteps here. There we go. This guy is completely unaware. Oh dear. Dead silence. Stopping power. Get him out of the game. This guy hasn't seen the... yeah, I was going to say, I didn't think he'd seen the guy behind there. I'd seen him a couple of times as he was looking around, but... I mean, this guy still has the absolute power play position. Again, height wins your games in Warzone. It really does. As long as there's different ways for you to look down on your enemy. He's a classic road skin. His aim there was absolutely terrible, and he wins the game, as you can see. GG's. No re.